Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Lost Mine podcast. It is me, Landon, with Lucas, and a special guest today. We have Nathan Osterkatz, our most recent seniors NAIC champion. How are you guys both doing?
Doing fine.
Doing pretty good. Landon, my goat.
Nathan, my goat. Lucas, my goat. We've got 3 goats on the pod today. We're doing well. Everyone's happy.
Dub. Okay,
Triple
so today,
threat goat.
Landon, what are we doing today?
So today we have an interview set up with our friend Nathan. Like we said, he was the winner of NAIC in the senior division, playing a bit of a deck that did not seem super popular in the tournament, so we're kind of interested about that as a question. But playing Pidgeot Dragapult. This deck was really hyped, I think, going into the tournament. But why did you pick this deck of all decks, Nathan?
I felt like the overall matchup spread was just better than everything else. I felt like you kind of you didn't have auto win matchups into anything, but also felt like I had a good list, but you kind of have 50-50 and slightly above, slightly below matchups into everything, just so you have a chance. And I feel like when I play decks like that, there's more room for skill to be the difference maker versus a win or a loss. So
I like it.
That's real.
Do you feel like it was kind of like Charizard in that way? Like, it looks basically like the same deck if you took the Dragapult line out and put the Charizard line in. Does it feel like a somewhat similar matchup spread, or is it meaningfully different than Zard?
It was pretty similar, except you just beat Charizard.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's pretty sick. I know that you were talking about how it was beating Lost Box and how that was the main priority going into the weekend. Can you elaborate on the specifics of why this deck was chosen?
Okay. I didn't know there was going to be that much Lost Box, and I've tested the matchup more. It's not quite as good as I thought it was, but I talked to some of the people who played Lost Box, and I think that from their testing that it hadn't felt like a great matchup either, but I thought there was going to be a lot of Gardevoir. I thought there was going to be a lot of Raging Bolt, and I thought there was going to be a lot of Lugia. I thought that was going to be the big 3 decks. And I felt like you had at least a 50-50 into all of those decks, and I didn't feel like there was really anything else that had that good of a matchup spread.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
The Raging Bolt matchup you felt like is even. I feel like that would be not a great matchup here. What's the plan?
Well, I beat 5 of them.
Wow.
The price trade is pretty good if you just attack with Dragapult before they go up 2, and then if they go up 2, you can just go Dragapult, Razor, and just Iono plus bump their Toki stock. Pretty good.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That checks out.
And a lot of
the Dragapult attacks are effectively worth 2 prizes unless they play a bunch of switch cards. If you can chain 2 in a row, you just take 4 on the second.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, dude, just clean up the other 260 and then clean up the other one.
Yeah.
So you played 5 Raging Bolts in the tournament? That's crazy.
Yep.
I mean,
do you want to maybe give us a run through of the matchups in your tournament? Because you guys had day 2 for seniors. Seniors is just masters now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see how much of this I remember.
Do you remember your matchups?
I think my round 1 was against a Giratina Lost Box. And I tied because I drew really bad in one of the games, and I Roxanne them to 1, or I owned them to 1. And then they drew Colress, and they were playing 2 Sableye. So after I killed their other one, they drew into their second Sableye and a Psychic Energy.
Normal.
Off that Colress. I don't remember what my second round. I'm gonna go to my Arcane page. But I remember that I think it was round 3. I played against Giovanni, who's one of the top European seniors. He's playing Frostlass. The matchup's pretty good.
The matchup
Frostlass with Greninja, or just the Frostlass Mawile thing?
Yeah, the Frostlass Mawile thing. I just attacked with Dragapult. I didn't even use the second attack. I just used the first attack, took 1, and then I was able to just snipe all the little guys off.
That makes sense, because Dragapult doesn't have abilities, so they don't really do anything.
Yeah, there's not enough damage being spread around. There's only those Monkey Dory pings that are really doing anything.
Lucas was so hyped up in that Mawile pile for a while. It was ridiculous.
Bro, that Mawile pile actually has potential.
Dude, he was trying to tell me that deck was just absolutely broken.
It kind of
Hard to
was.
disagree. You
okay.
proved otherwise.
It was okay. It was okay. And then in the second game, he had like a better chance because he went like unfair stamp Devo, but I had by barrel. So you know how that goes. And then I was playing Silene, so I Silened back my candy.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the Silene after your matchups. I'm curious about that card too.
Okay. Day one. I think my third round.
You told us about your third round. You just told us about that with Giovanni.
I'm having a hard time remembering. I think I played against a Aging Bolt. I did play against a lot of Raging Bolts. So let me just like go through all the ones that I actually remember while I'm
sure.
Trying to find my my pairings. So I played against a little bit later in the tournament. I played against a Dragapult Lost Box. I think that matchup's pretty good. You just kind of you can kind of attack. You just attack with Dragapult like a lot, like faster than they can, and that attacker, Dragapult is just way better of an attacker than like every other attacker, like in that matchup. Like it's so much better than Cramorant or Sableye or Radiant Charizard. So being able to use that first, it's such a big.
Also feels like you have more hand disruption too. Like they're not really gonna have the access to Iono every turn that you will with Pidgeot. You need it.
Yeah, if you need to hit the Iono, you can always just pitch out for it, and that makes things easier as well.
That's true. Being able to Iono spam into like the lost zones seems absolutely broken because they're like one of the weakest decks to Iono. So if you're killing,
I love Iono spamming.
It's like actually pretty insane, pretty broken.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I don't think that they set up a Dragapult EX either of the games.
Oh no,
they did drop pretty well. Yeah, but they weren't playing Rare Candy, so.
I see. You just deleted their bench Pokemon.
Yep, exactly.
One question I have for you while you're finding your matchups is I know that you were talking about playing Halucha in the deck before the tournament. Why did you decide to swap off of it? And do you think that the card is good in this deck?
I think the card is like, it's definitely good, but it feels like really situational. And I feel like if you're in a spot where you can like actually use Halucha and have it be useful, you're probably winning.
That's cool.
And also, the card I would have like taken out Manaphy, which kind of felt a little bit skull emoji. There was a lot of Lost Box.
Skull emoji for real. Yeah, I would not be rocking that stage 2 deck without Manaphy myself.
It's kind of real. You just die to anything that has bench tonight.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Because what about the Delphox V in Charizard, Lucas? What are you going to do to the Delphox V? You're just going to get shellacked.
Cooked. My fault, man. My fault. I'm going to get cooked.
I played against multiple Delphox V, actually, at NAIC. It was weird.
Oh, God. I mean, you were... What was your record?
Bad. Nathan's the star here. We're not talking about me.
Nobody
My
needs to know.
record was also bad. I went 4-2-3. Yippee.
All right.
Oh, my God. I love playing Gardevoir. I play it.
I found my matchups. I think I'm going to have like 3 missing from day 1, but they did not do so well, so I don't think we care about that.
That's rough.
So, skip those. We've already done 3. So, round 7, that was my only loss. In day 1, I hit Gabriel Fernandez.
Good player.
Yeah. He just kind of like set up really well game 1 and game 2, and I think I made a misplay in game 1 that might have cost me the game. I could have used Razard, but I promoted Pidgeot instead of Dragapult, so I couldn't retreat the fire off Mela. I prized my last fire.
Dang.
What was Gabe playing?
He was playing Guardy.
Mm.
And then game 2, I just like totally bricked. That matchup.
What's the Guardy matchup like? I feel like it's pretty scuffed actually. When I was testing it,
it's really scuffed. It's like if they don't set up like really good, you usually just win. I'm not even sure what the percentages are. Honestly, it's like either 50-50 or like slightly favored. But most of the time, what you're trying to do is you're trying to like boss kill the Monkey Dory and then set up damage on Incurlia. Because you can like if you like ever get a turn where you can take 2 and kill Incurlia, like you can just prize race them from that point, and then it's really hard for them. So just targeting down the monkey, basically. And, if they have, like, no Curlias, then just,
Nathan,
yeah.
would I be able to trouble you in turning your camera back on?
What, is my camera off?
Yeah, it got turned off.
Alright.
Okay, sick, thanks.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
And then, so that was round 7. That was my loss. And then I played against a Charizard. So I bricked both game 1 and game 2, but game 2 I did a funny play where I killed their Pidgeot and Barrel, and then I just put up all my 1 prizers. I went a full Dragapult board, and I was at, I think, 3 prize cards. I don't think I didn't have Pidgeot, but I was holding Iono in hand, so I literally just put up my Barrel and made them knock it out so that I could go counter catcher up their Rotom. And I had forced them to turbo up their Barrel so they didn't lose because there was 60 on it. So I went Iono, and then I just punched the Rotom with the Jet Headbutt, and then took 3. And then we did a gentleman's on prizes in the 3rd game because it was winning in for day 2, and I didn't really do anything, and I was just destroying it.
So, yeah, that's something that I had a lot of mishaps with over the weekend was gentlemen's agreements.
This is the gentleman's agreements do not work for him.
So yeah, gentlemen's agreements are just they just never work. Apparently, one of the kids I hit spoke Portuguese and spoke barely any English, so that we couldn't even make a gentleman's. And then one guy just blatantly went back on it, which was pretty not skippy. So
that's happened a lot to me. In my first round, my opponent agreed to a gentleman's, and then 5 seconds later was actually never mind.
Okay, that's fine. If it's not the end of the game, yeah.
Yeah, but
I feel like that's fine. I feel like,
yeah,
but
it's
at the
fine.
end of the game,
it was kind of funny though.
Yeah, funny. I think at the end of the game, you just gotta honor it. Okay, so we gotta talk about that for a second. Why did you offer gentlemen's on prizes and not board stake? Because I'm a board stake goblin, and I always offer.
Because it was way too. Okay, I would have won on board state, but I offered board state, or I was like, we should do gentlemen's, but board state doesn't work because you're obviously losing. I didn't want to. It was a friend, but also when it's so early in the game, I don't really like doing board state because a lot of times it's gonna be a disagreement on who could.
Oh, real.
Yeah, I feel like prize is just an objective value, and it's not subjective. And board state is subjective.
I agree, especially when it's turn 3 or turn 4. I'm it's way too early to decide.
Will say, I only really offer board state when I'm playing Guardy or Urshi, and then if I'm not playing those decks, my deck never goes to time.
Well,
because if I offer on prizes with Urshifu, I'm just cooked because I haven't had my Yoga Loop, double gunner, rapid flow plays, and I can't actually win the game. So. Well,
my deck is pretty good at winning on prize cards, so.
Yeah, because you're just Urshifu without all the random things, and you're just doing 200 and spreading. So it's a more direct rapid flow if you think about it, really hard, and squinting your eyes.
So round 9, you took down the gentlemen's, and
it was round 8. It was round 8. I was 5-1-1, and then I was 6-1-1.
Okay.
And then round 9, I hit my friend's Omar, who's in my testing group, and we ID'd because the limitless calc on the tournament put 9-2-3 at basically guaranteed cut, which was pretty helpful. And we wanted to both be able to have a tie in day 2 because our decks, Pidgeot decks kind of tie, and then Guardy definitely ties a lot, so that ended up helping me. Even though I lost to him in round 1 of day 2, because I prized Earthen Vessel, and Neo Upper Energy, and Mela, I think, in game 1, and then bricked game 3.
Not
so that was round 10. Round 11, I hit a Raging Bolt. They were interesting for sure. They I think it was game 3. I was basically destroying them, and they asked during my turn if they could look at their top deck to decide if they wanted to scoop or not.
Did you say yes?
No, I said I'll finish my turn and then you can. And then they looked at that card and because I was winning the prize trade by 4.
Damn.
And then I played against a Lost Box. I just like set up a Dragapult both games. They can really do anything.
Lost Box variants are like struggling to actually deal with anything on a board. So like once
Yeah,
you put
that's the thing. How does Lost Box kill any EXs that aren't basics? Like how do they deal with your Dragapult in this deck? I don't understand.
It's really chalked. If you set up Pidgeot Dragapult before they go up like 3 or 4 prices, you kind of just win because they need to Iron Hands kill. They need to Iron Hands kill your Pidgeot with Prime Catcher when you're Ionoing them every turn, and then they need to hit into your Pidgeot. And if I played a Fine Spin, so I would just kill the Iron Hands. So then they would need to Cram Punch into your Dragapult and then Blood Moon.
Yeah.
It's not amazing.
That's terrible.
And then
so bad.
Yeah, and then I tied for a Block Black. I'll take it. It's a Block Blacks. And then on my winning end, I played against a Lugia, and that matchup felt more and more just free for every deck that I have played with a Temple of Sinnoh in it.
Yeah, low key Lugia is such an imposter, dude. That deck is not that good. If you play
call me Azul, but dude, Lugia is fraudulent. I don't know what to say.
Real. If you play a single tech, Lugia just kind of collapses and dies.
Yeah,
I played E-Hammer my Guardian deck, and that matchup was 100-0.
Bye-bye, Legacy.
Yeah, that matchup is so sick, dude.
I'll see you in game 2.
Real.
And then, so I didn't even have to use my Temple. I literally just, killed all the rats because they were playing 260 HP rats because nobody was, respecting Dragon. So I just killed all their rats, and won 2-0.
Yeah. Okay, so do you think if people are respecting Dragapult, your deck becomes a lot worse?
I don't really know how you respect Dragapult. That's one of the small things. People are playing 370 HP rats, so the matchup is slightly worse. That you can never take 2 in 1 turn on the rat.
Okay.
But other than that, it's not really that easy to respect.
Okay.
So deck doesn't have any glaring weaknesses.
Manicure Jirachi that you can play. There's nothing you can really Rabska. Sure.
Yeah.
Rabska.
No, not Rabska. I'll just boss up that Rabska. Come here, buddy.
Bro,
boss up
the
that
Rabska snuck.
Nah, you go buddy popping double.
This what they got the 2/2 Rabska line. Real. You're so
GG go. I'm already doing really bad in the tournament to hit somebody with that in their deck. So
Real.
I'll just scoop and drop. Because I wasn't going to win the tournament anyway.
Wasn't meant to be.
So you're in top 8 now? Is that where we're at?
Yep. And then I played against a Lost Box. Pretty much same thing as the earlier Lost Box, which was Evan Pavelski. He was same 60 with Andrew Hedrick, I believe. Game 1, I just went turn 2 Dragapult. And then I didn't get a Pidgeot set up, which is pretty annoying. My hand was pretty bad. I opened Luminion. But I did turn 2 Pult, and then I got myself into a really good spot at the end of the game where I had I needed Fire Energy plus Radiant Charizard or Dragapult to win because he opened Blood Moon and played all 4 of his switch cards on turn 2. So I was able to just put 60. I was able to put 60 on it with Pult to just set it up for another Pult. So, but I had all 3 Fire Energies in deck. I had multiple Arven. My Barrel was in the deck as well. I had multiple Ultra Balls. I had Dragapult. I had Radiant Charizard, and I had a Dracloak. So he just rocked Sandman. I drew into Dragapult, and then I Dracloaked into Fire. Game 2, I just couldn't really. I just drew pretty bad, and then Game 3, he drew pretty bad.
So, yeah, that matchup seems very good. I don't actually know how Lost Box went.
Yeah.
It's not that good. I think it's slightly favored because they can just kill double Pidgey at the start of the game, and then it can be really annoying after that.
Yeah, just if they have a really good opening hand, and get turn 1/7, and you don't have mana V, you could get kind of cooked.
Yeah, or turn 2 Sableye. But I think I'm gonna. Yeah. I did. It was probably a bad idea to not play at least 160 HP Pidgey in my deck. So I'm gonna do that now. Would have made it a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree. I think it's kind of responsible to play the.
Why don't you elaborate on the Pidgeys?
Oh my goodness. Lucas thinks that. Do you still think no 60
No,
HP
no, no. I
Pidgey
think
is
60
correct in
HP is good.
Charizard?
I think 60 HP is correct. But like, I want
Okay,
the
sure.
viewers to understand why, so that they don't have low brain moments like me.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. So, you play the 60 HP Pidgey. It doesn't have Call for Famu. You know, that's the reason you play the other one. But it has 60 HP, and all of the Dreepies and Manaphy and everything have 70. But if you play the 50 HP one, a Lost Mine can knock out both a Pidgey and a Dreepy / Manaphy in one turn, which is like really really bad. Like you really need that to not be happening. Like if they can, it's not like if they can just do that and take 2 prizes, it's just like terrible. Like you really want them to if they're gonna they basically can't take 2 prizes if with Sableye if you don't do that and don't put Cleffa down. So if you can like only put down the 60 Pidgey and not put down the 50, it's honestly just like better than putting down double Pidgey because they can't take 2 prizes. And if you put down double 50 HP Pidgeys, they can kill them both anyway. So you put down the 60 and then they have to leave. So if you have like a Dreepy with an energy and a Pidgey, they have to leave one of them in play. But when you're only playing the 50, they can knock out both, and then you're in a really, really bad spot because you don't have like a good way to get your Neo Up energy, and you don't have like any energies on board.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, I have a couple questions off that. Cleffa seems like it has so many matchups where it's just impossible to put in play. Do you find that it gave you a lot of value throughout the tournament, or were you just constantly not able to bench it?
So Cleffa is an interesting card. I think there are definitely situations where you just like can't really put it in play, but a big part of what makes it so good is that like your buddy Poffins can be consistency turn 1, and I'm playing the rescue board in my deck, so Arven can be such it just if you play rescue board plus Cleffa, it can turn Arven into like an insane like draw supporter. Like you can Arven for buddy Poffin plus rescue board and then retreat into your Cleffa turn 1. And it's just like the sole goal of this deck is setting up. Like if you can get a board state with like Bibarel, Dragapult, Pidgeot, Dracloak, it's really hard for like any deck to beat you. So I just like giving yourself more outs to like drawing cards on turn 1 is good. And if your opponent plays Spiritomb in their deck, it kind of like gives you like an alternative to Rotom because you really want to be drawing cards on turn 1 because you need to put together pretty big combinations on turn 2. I also think it's like slightly.
So you have like a. Go ahead. I'll say nothing after.
All right. It's also like slightly like less likely that you get punished for the Cleffa because now there's way less Charizard. Before you could get punished really easily by Heat Tackle, killing the Cleffa, but that it's just like there's like no Charizard anymore. And if there's more Charizard starting to happen, they're all going to be playing the 70.
You can't really take Heat Tackle anymore. Yeah. So in matchups like Gardevoir, where Cleffa's just going to die to Monkey Dory, in matchups like Dragapult, where it's going to die to Dragapult's attack, and then you have like Lost Zone decks, are you benching in those matchups when your hand like is dead and you need Cleffa to draw out of it, or are you just saying, I can't bench it, I'm going to lose?
I think you still just bench it. I think you'd rather be like playing off your, basically like giving yourself a chance to be playing off of your Ionos instead of playing off your top deck. And it's also like it's kind of a liability to have on the board, just like a Rotom. So them killing it just gives you like another bench space to put something else down as well.
That's correct. Yeah, I guess it makes your Ionos a little better. And I was just scared. Monkey Dory ping killing my Cleffa seems so sad.
It is sad, but you know that Monkey Dory 30 is going somewhere else if I have a dead hand. So
it's real.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was top 4 was Lost Box,
top
or top 8. Top 4. After that, it all falls apart. It's all block after. I don't.
How did you beat 2 blocks? I swear.
Okay, the matchup is like it's not that good. I went 201%, but it's not that good of a matchup. I think it's like 50. Honestly, I don't think it's at that good. I think people just like didn't have enough experience in the matchup. But my top 4, they were playing the Fan, but they just like didn't attach it to their Snorlax. They had so many times they would Arven for Fan and then didn't attach it for like no reason, and they kept on benching Rotom. So I played double boss in my deck, partly because of blockbacks, partly because of Guardy. So you want to be able to like gust while ahead. So I was literally just bossing up their Rotom, and they kept on bringing up like Cleffa. So I just boss up the Rotom and then retreat my Cleffa because that's free retreat. So
nice. Yeah,
and
once
then
you
I
win
could
game
just
1
keep
of
on
that
doing
matchup,
that.
it's like free.
Yeah, game 2, I literally didn't even play to win the game. I was just trying to take as much time as possible so that we had like 5 minutes left in game 3. They literally just scooped game 3 as soon as I took a prize.
Yeah, time rules are very not forgiving to control decks.
Yeah, and then in finals, I won game 1. I have rewatched my stream. I made like one small misplay in game 2. Game 1, there was like I'm still not quite sure what the correct play was. It was like I had a chance to Silene for Vacuum to win the game, but I went boss instead. And I think it was correct to boss because I'm like basically I know he has nothing. He literally just benched a Mawile and like on the last turn. So I know he has nothing in his hand, and if I get heads on the Silene, I'm like basically guaranteed to win the game anyways. And if I wait one more turn to play the Silene, it's like that Silene turn, if I flip double tails on Silene the first time, like if I play it as soon as I can, I'm basically doing nothing for a turn. Like I have one turn that's wasted because I had a Psychic Energy prize. But if I boss first, because if I get double tails, I'm going to need to boss the next turn, so I'm just one turn behind on like how I'm going to win the game. But if I boss first, then I can set up the Mawile for Dreepy one turn earlier, and I have a 50% chance of drawing into a Psychic off my prizes. So if I draw a Psychic off my prizes, then I can basically like both attack with Dreepy and Silene at the same time. So if I get heads on the Silene, I win. But if I get tails, I'm one turn away from winning the game. So I think you like save one turn if you boss first.
Makes sense.
And again, they were just benching a bunch of Pokemon that I'd knock out with boss, so that was pretty fun. And then game 2, I just like set up insane. Like I just like opened like Lone Dreep. They did accompanying flute like double Pidgey Bidoof, but I had already gotten a couple hits with the Dracloak off, and I had just like Dragapult in the active, and like after that, there's just nothing they could do. They didn't hit like any of my rare candies either, so I just went like double candy Pidgeot and turned up my beat.
Yeah, I remember I was
just
watching you
over.
play on stream, and I saw you playing against control. I'm like, oh, it's doomed. Nathan's not going to win. But you did it. Do you think, like you said, it's like a matchup inexperience thing, or the matchup's actually good? Because I guess you have like 3 switch outs with Kieran.
It's definitely like a matchup experience thing. I think it's like if both people play it perfectly, I think it's like 50.
Yeah. Because you definitely have a better matchup than like old Charizard did, because that's kind of what I was thinking. Like the matchup basically the same, but this, you have big triple switch out vacuum boss.
Well, the main thing is that Dragapult can do 200 and Charizard does 180, so you kill the Snorlax with a Bravery Charm, and you can also set up the Rotom to get killed as well. Like being able to put pressure on the Rotom is probably the biggest thing, because the Rotom is their draw engine. So if you can like kill their Rotom and then Iono them, it's not looking amazing.
They're cooked.
And then they're cooked.
Like you don't need to do like before with Charizard, you need to like heat tackle 6 times to get to that same position, and then even then they could just Bravery Charm. They can just Bravery Charm the Rotom, and then you can't kill it. But now you can just like start attacking like really quickly, and like set up the Rotom for like turn 3, turn 4 knockout.
So you're just trying to aggro out a Dragapult and just start attacking fast?
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably the best line.
It's a good out. Makes sense.
Like
so at this point in time, you have become the NAIC champion. Fantastic.
Wow, crazy. Okay. So do we have anything else to say about that?
Dragapult's good.
Real. Okay. So my next question is, why is this version of Pult better than other versions?
So I think like, there's definitely an argument for the board version of Pult to probably be better than this, but I think it's better into Gardevoir and worse into Lost if you play the Torque build, because Dragapult is a much better attacker. He's a Lost Box, and a worse attacker into Guard. So I feel like for this last one in seniors, it might have been like better, but depending on what the meta is moving forward, it might be better to play the other one. But I think you're better than the Lost Box Dragapult, just because I feel like Dragapult is such a strong attacker, and just like focusing on just attacking with that every turn, it's like every turn you're not attacking with Dragapult, it sucks. Like, it just would just be better if you were attacking with Dragapult than attacking with like literally anything else. So the Lost Box build is like cool, you're cramming, but like this cram on my turn 1, if I just like attack with Dragapult on turn 2 every game, that's gonna be like better overall.
Real. So you think that this deck
one
just
cram
attacks...
attack is better than two, or sorry, one Dragapult attack is better than 2 crams.
So you think that this is just the best version of Pult because it just puts out Dragapults most consistently?
I think I would have this and like Charizard, like the Torque build, like I think they're about equal. And like
fair.
Yeah. So you think this has better Lost Box?
Yeah, this deck has a better Lost Box matchup, but the Torque build has a better Gardevoir matchup because Guardy EX is kind of an annoying attacker in that matchup. And on the other side, it's harder to set up Dragapults, so they can like the price trade is a lot worse when swinging with Sard, so they can like target your Dreepies really easily if you're not playing a bunch.
Should have listened to me, bro. I played 101 Charizard. 101 Charizard goes hard.
Okay, 101 Charizard is like, it's okay, but then they're just gonna target the Charmander instead of it. Or if they just target Dreepy, it just
Dragapult turns.
I don't know. Like, I honestly rather have the Dreepy than I can just like evolve it into a Dracloak. Now I have another Dracloak out.
Real. Should have broken.
Okay, so you were just talking about
so there's really only the two of us.
Yeah, and Zatsupult's just bad, right?
Yeah, okay, Zatsupult is like, the Japanese people, I don't think they're cooking with that one. I don't know why all the Japanese players still play Zatsupult. Because I see it in all the Limitless tournament. But you just are so terrible into just like Iono plus kill Zatu or Dracula. If that happens like one time, like it's just so hard to respond. Like you just have to hit your unfair stamp. And you have to not play your unfair stamp, and you have to like hit your unfair stamp off of that at the end of the game. Otherwise, because it's so hard to set up another dragon.
Real.
Like you don't really have any real onboard draw if they just kill your Dracloak. You just rely off of having psychic energy.
Yeah, it's true. They don't have Vaporelle or Pidgeot or anything.
And you have to ever like attack with Dragapult turn 2, you like have to go second.
How do you feel about being locked into Neo Upper as your spec? Obviously, it's pretty cracked in this version, but it does take away a lot of other like powerful options that other versions can play.
Sorry, I'm like having a coughing fit over here.
I feel like it's kind of that's just sort of like the trade-off. Like like the other A specs are cool, but most of the A specs you would play in this deck are just like a slight are like kind of like direct, but it's like slight upgrades of cards that are already in here, like Prime Catcher or Unfair Stamp. So it's like, sure, it's annoying. I can't do but like I can just play an Iono. It's a little bit worse, but I can just play an Iono. So like definitely, it's not like the optimal A spec to have if you could pick any A spec, but I think it's worth the trade off in this deck just because being able to attack with Dragapult turn 2 more consistent is like gonna make a bigger difference.
And then in relation to Neo Upper, is Silene basically just always recovering Neo Upper? Not always, obviously, most of the time.
Most of the time, yes. Silene is kind of like both a tech for like control-y decks where their win con is trying to like run you out of like Candy, and then like Evo and stuff like that, and against like Blocklax to get back like your turn stuff. But it's mainly, I didn't play against any decks with E-Hammer. I don't know why, but the point was that you played Dracloak in here, so it's like it's better than Roseanne because you just put it on the top and then you draw back into it. So if your opponent goes E-Hammer, then you can just get the Neo Upper energy right back and then attack again. Because if you don't play the Silene, it's like really annoying if they E-Hammer you and you don't have any energies on your bench because you kind of like can't attack again on the next turn and then you're just like stuck.
Killing it.
Sick.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think the Neo Upper Energy is just an insanely good trade-off for being able to put out your Dragapult.
Yeah, like you just get to instant attack Dragapult.
You also get to
and you
attack
have
with
multiple
Pidgeot, which is
listed.
fun.
Yeah, Bluster Wind is a very good attack, actually.
Bro,
I use that a lot. I use that a lot when I was playing Zard.
I haven't joked as much as I should about winning NAIC with Blustery.
Did you?
Yes. I literally went Blustery win his Snorlax.
Damn.
Let's go.
We were too busy
PogChamp.
saying Conga. So
What?
yeah.
Lucas had a conga line going in the crowd?
Yeah.
They did. They did have a Congo. I've seen it.
They're
It's
emoting
hilarious.
on your opponent.
Literally.
Emoting.
Yeah,
Literally, we were.
you go like this.
Yeah, literally. It was funny.
That's
It was hilarious.
It was sick. Okay.
Rip.
So what are your worst and best matchups with this deck?
Okay. Best match.
Best
Definitely
and worst.
like best matchups are like Charizard and Lost Box Dragon. Matchups are very good.
Okay, well, I guess we could probably put. Should we set up a tier list on the fly here? Wait, we totally could.
Nah.
Damn.
Nah.
Because we go like
Okay.
S tier is like Lost Opal.
Lucas, you're getting shut down.
Sorry.
Let him talk about his matchups.
Okay,
It's fine. And then worst matchup. Okay, Pidgeot control. That matchup is just like terrible. Can't really like do anything. Pidgeot control just like stomps on you.
Fair. Unless you just
And then
unless you kill their Pidgey.
well, I don't know.
Turn
You
2
can't,
candy attack.
you can't really do that. I feel like I don't know. You don't have really like amazing matchups or like bad matchups. What matchups are like actually bad? Okay, Gold Dango. That matchup is terrible. Even though no one's playing.
Yeah, but that deck is terrible.
Sick. That matchup is sick.
Everyone knows that I hate Goldango.
You are literally
Oh,
locked into a prize trade, and you can go Radzard on a one prize board, and they lose.
No, the matchup's not good. They just kill your Pidgeot. They one hit you every turn.
Man,
Real.
guess we can't play this deck, guys. It loses to Goldango.
I haven't even
Landon.
tested that matchup. Maybe it's better, but like that just doesn't seem amazing.
Speaking
That's
of
They
not a
which,
just
match.
one hit you every turn.
Landon.
You have
Um,
to test. It's
And
not
then,
something
like,
you have to test again.
honestly, all the other matchups are like fine. Like you're fine. You're fine into Chinpow. You're fine into Snorlax Doll. You're fine into Ready Drago. Maybe Miraidon. That matchup might be like slightly unfavored.
Even then, you have Defiance Man, so if they amp
Yeah, you do have
they
Defiance Man Vacuum.
They have Bravery Charm, though.
Yeah, back
Landon.
Defiance.
But yeah, this definitely feels like a even matchup. Like it feels pretty similar to Zard, like I was saying earlier, in like the matchup spreads, but just
Yeah.
a little bit better.
except this deck is also very like skill intensive, so you can like
Yeah.
Nathan said, let's kill win. And I think that's a
Yeah,
big.
real.
That's what a lot of top players do. Is they'll just go into tournaments with decks that don't really lose to a lot, but they'll let their skill take them, and they'll let their skill carry, because if you're outskilling all of your opponents, you're probably winning anyway. So just play a deck that makes that
Real.
evident.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go any further, Landon,
Yes.
what is your opinion on Goldango coming second in juniors?
I think that person must have had a very lucky run.
Real.
What do you mean,
That is
bro?
my
He's just him. He's just him. What do you?
Bro.
I will forever be a Goldango hater. Goldango will never be a good deck. They even printed like the Cypher Maniac thing. I thought that was gonna be broken. Goldango still sucks. The deck's just forever atrocious.
Oh, but Paul
Congrats to the
Goldango
person.
is
No
just
shade
so
on him.
good.
Guys, we should actually play Goldango.
I don't mean to take away from the second place. No, Lucas, don't be pranking me.
I'm real, bro. I'm rolling up to World
Oh.
with my Goldango deck and my Goldango deck box, my Goldango backpack, and Goldango mat.
I'm gonna pull out a bar of gold as my V-Star marker. And
Oh my god.
We need Landon, you gotta play Goldango so we get +1 limitless pages for Goldango.
Hell no. I refuse. I'm moving on from this. I'm over the Goldango. The slander.
Okay, so back to the match.
So this is like a pretty open-ended question.
Oh,
Oh, Lucas has. Were we still talking about something?
I thought we were. I thought we weren't even done.
Oh, sorry.
So I guess
Continue.
yeah. Never mind. So never mind. I guess in summary, deck's a 50-50 deck that takes a few good matchups and not that and a few bad matchups, but skill carries. So if you're playing this deck, what do you recommend to people who are just picking up this deck, Nathan?
Please use Rotom lots. Please use Rotom. That's the biggest thing. Please use Rotom, and like, don't throw away all your energy. Resource management your energy. Dracloak is broken. Prioritize Pidgeot before Dragapult. That's actually a huge thing. Prioritize Pidgeot over Dragapult. If you can get a Pidgeot, you can get multiple Dragapult. One Dragapult is not enough for a whole game.
That's a big thing I noticed about new Zard players too, is they would be like, oh my gosh, I can Candy Zard turn 2, and then they would have nothing else, and then they would lose. I would assume that's pretty similar here.
Like a little Timmy. If I Iono into you to 2 and kill your Dragapult, even if you already are winning the prize trade, if I have 6 left, you're not winning.
You're not.
You don't have to.
No, because you can't assemble candy combos on 2 cards. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Real.
And then also like
we have one more question, I think, after this.
No, we got. Oh, yeah. I guess we've done a general how to play. So then we have 2.
It's like establish your board state should be like the most important thing, because you're fine going behind. Because then counter catcher is activated, which is like so good. You can go like counter catcher.
We love counter catcher.
Dusclops and Guardian Dragapult. Yes.
Right,
Dusclops.
Me, all my homies love counter catcher.
Yeah, all the homies love counter.
You even have the good arts. I love. Did you earn those yourself, or did you buy those in?
No, sir, I did not earn those.
No way. I have like 2 play
I'm
sets
not
of League Cup counters.
I'm not a real one.
R.I.P.
Bro, you weren't playing in 2017? Come on, man, you're throwing.
That's so cringe. You got to be out here like us. We were playing at that time. Me and Lucas have been goated.
My bad, bro. I was going to regionals with my expanded deck, and then getting deck checked and disqualified.
R.I.P.
Did that actually happen?
Or getting all my cards replaced with energy or something.
Did that actually happen?
No, I don't remember, bro. Oh, I was trying to use attacks that did 0 damage with Professor Kukui to do damage.
Oh my god.
That's sick.
How far we've
I remember my favorite thing at the decklist story, John, Lucas's dad, always liked to build his decks like the night before. He would just build them on his own with no like input or anything. One time he pulled up to a tournament with a Garbodor deck with 0 Via Seeker, and then opened round 1 and was like, wait a second.
There's no Via
Love
Seeker.
that from John.
Dude, I once rolled up to a tournament with like 4 stage 2 lines of 1/1/1, like 5 different kinds of energies, and like 1 rare candy.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
It was literally looking like a tour deck.
Being a noob was fun. I liked being a noob back in the day.
When I pulled a playable card.
You put it in your deck.
Hey, give me that, bro. Let me just add some fire energy. Might as well.
Real.
Love it.
Real as hell.
Okay, so I think our last
you guys
question
are telling
for
me
you,
that
Nathan.
you didn't roll up to your first regional with Pyroar with like Blaziken EX and Delphox EX, dude?
Yeah, Lucas literally pulled up to his first regional with like, how many Pyroar did you play in your deck, Lucas? It was like a 1/1 line?
I think it was like 3/3. I actually played like a respectable Pyroar line.
Lucas would pull up, he would evolve into Pyro, and he would instant win with all these other bulk cards in his deck.
I literally made top 8 when I was playing Blaziken EX and Delphox EX in my deck.
There's no shot, bro.
I literally made top 8 because nobody was playing Hexmaniac.
Literally, Lucas just had to evolve into Pyro and attack. And he would win.
How do you break the format before you even play the game?
I don't know. I can't even do that now.
How do you break the format without testing?
Bro, I don't know.
Just too goated.
I played like 1 game a day with my dad, dude. I was cooking.
Bro.
My god. And then I went Pyroar.
Last question?
And then all the opponents would Malding because they were losing to a 6-year-old. I was literally like 6. I think I was like 6. It's so sick. Okay.
Don't let 6-year-old Lucas come back.
What?
Don't let 6-year-old Lucas come back.
Bro, why not? He top 8'd.
It's over for Pokemon if he comes back.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay, why aren't more people playing this deck, Nathan?
Okay. 1, people do not have very good lists. Like, there were like, I'm still not 100% sure whether it's play Chars or not. I think there's just like, I think for Masters, like, the people with good lists for this deck did well, but since there was so much Guardian Masters, they all play Chars.
Yeah.
So, but like I think Tord and Michael Prem both had pretty good lists, and there was somebody else in top 32 who was also playing Charizard build. I think all of them had pretty good lists for the tournament for sure, but like most people did not have great lists for the deck. Like, if you're playing like any version of Dragapult that isn't like straight Pidgeot, or like you have to have Pidgeot and Bibarrel in your deck, otherwise the deck's just not very good. If you don't have a 2/2 Pidgeot line and a 1/1 Bibarrel line, your deck's bad.
Yeah, real.
Shout out to that.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, it's like it's a lot of card draw because you have Dracula, Bibarel, and Pidgeot. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Okay, so Michael Premawat was playing the Pidgeot with like, oh, he was playing something close to your list. Oh my god, his list was just insane.
1/0 Zard.
1/1 Charizard! Oh my god! Oh my god!
260 HP Pidgeys! 260 HP Pidgeys!
Yes! I recommended this and Nathan was like, no, they're going bad.
Well, I didn't say it was okay. It's like okay. I don't know. I don't like it that much. Then I have to play Heavy Ball in my deck.
But
Hate
why
that card.
similar?
And he doesn't play Rotom.
He doesn't play Earthen Vessel.
He doesn't play Rotom. He doesn't play Mela. He doesn't.
Bro, I mean, maybe
How are we
just too goated.
Like, how are we winning if we prize this Neo up right now?
I don't know. And then this like Chad Fincham guy was playing. Oh, he was playing the Rosans and not the Silene. What? He's playing Palpat? Bro, you gotta play Silene in this deck, because then you can actually go Silene. You can go Palpat double, Silene Palpat, and then like actually have like an insane stall matchup. You can be like a little
Okay,
bit of
no. This is like way more similar to mine.
Oh yeah, very similar to yours.
There's just a couple teams.
What do you think about the devolution in this deck then?
It's fine. I'm not using it versus Guardy. Like, maybe it might be good in mirror match, but I didn't expect like any mirror. So
That's real. Okay, before that takes up all of it, but yeah, I think this deck. So you were just saying that people aren't playing it because they haven't found a good list and they got turned off of it.
Yeah. Also, just because it's like new, and it makes sense though, because it's a new deck. People need to optimize lists before good, right?
Do you think your 60?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit more of a thinky deck.
Do I think my what?
Your list is the optimal list.
Think I might. The only card that like there's like two cards that I'm not totally sold on. Temple and Mellow. Everything else felt it.
And Mela?
Yeah, but it's like if you prize Neo Upper, you kind of just need to have it because you're like losing 10% more of your prize. Yeah. But Mela, like you could probably. I'm not 100% sure whether playing third Psychic or Mela is. I think you should just play Mela. So I think my 59 without Temple of Sinnoh is perfect, and I'm not sure what the Temple of Sinnoh cut. Probably it's either Collapse or Lost City.
My other question is Kieran. How good was Kieran?
Kieran, like, as a damage booster, it was okay. Like, I used it, like, but it was like I didn't hit any Lugia. That was like the big point of playing Kieran. But I don't think you need double turn. Honestly, like this deck is not. It's like Charizard where you want to be like picking stuff often.
Yeah, you don't have the easy way to get energies back.
Yeah, and it's just basically, and this like doesn't accelerate them when you put it back in play. So I felt like you should just play the split just for like the situations where Kieran is better, and also Kieran is a much better way of like in those random situations where you need to get something out of the active. It's better than Turbo because you don't have to pick it up, and it is a better way of reusing Radiant Charizard because you keep the energy, so you just go into a Pidgeot and you can reuse it, and then it also helps you with math. Sometimes like. Versus you can just it's just like especially versus like Mirror and Charizard. It can help you because you can go Defiance Band Kieran and hit for 260 into a Dragapult, and then you can kill it again. It's like
And you said into Lugia, it wasn't very like what does it do into Lugia? You said
it's just help it lets you kill a Lugia B if you're ahead.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It's not like it's kind of a situational card for the damage boosting effect, but I mainly use it for the switch effect.
Yeah.
With the switching
Checks
back.
out.
That's fair. I think
Okay.
Kieran and one. I was thinking about it while you were talking. I was thinking, what if we just cut the Kieran for a Yelchier?
Bro.
Because then you could go play
Lucas wants to play
Turo,
control.
Siling
Bro,
the
stop.
Turo, Yelchier.
No.
Play the Turo, Siling the Turo, and Yelchier, the Siling, and the Turo.
Lucas, this is not control.
Again, and then you can Turo for like 4 times.
I don't care, bro. I'm trying to like play Turo Kieran back to back. I'm not trying to use this terrible Yelchier card.
And to stall.
There's dead card in my hand in every other matchup. Nah, it's dead card. Like
Nathan, we have 2 more questions. We're moving on from Lucas because he's greening out.
Bro,
Okay.
I don't wanna, that's not even
How do you
legal where
feel about
he
this
is.
going into Worlds format? Do you think anything changes? Do you think this gets meaningfully worse or better, or do you think the list changes?
I think it might be correct to play Charizard in it now because of guards, how much Gardevoir. But like, I think the deck, just like Dragapult, is still really good. It's just like a super strong attacker. And if you're playing this deck or the other build with Charizard in it, your deck is pretty good. I think there's less of a surprise factor now, so probably not quite as good as it was for NAIC. Because people probably didn't practice against this as much as they practice against like other decks. Like Raging Bolt was the new deck that was getting all the hype. So
It was definitely.
yeah, I think the deck's still very good. But I think probably just want to play at least a 101 Charizard in now, maybe more. Just because of Guard, you want to have a way to one-hit a Gardevoir EX without Defiance Band, Radzard, Kieran, because that is
It's just never
terrible.
happening. Especially in the late game with Iono, Screamtail Bib.
In terms of cards from the new set, is there anything you're interested in? Maybe like Dusknoir? I know that's a card I'm thinking about in like Charizard list, but
Bro, okay, this Dusknoir card is terrible. I'm not trying to be like wasting a rare candy and a bench spot and 2 deck spaces in the middle of a game, and then committing suicide.
okay, but hear
Not
me
so
out.
good.
So I was also a hater on Dusknoir, but then it's like prize parity. So you're giving up a prize, but you're taking one. Like, say you're playing against a Dragapult mirror, and you go KO their active Pult and KO their other Dreepy in like a turn, or like something like along those.
But like, how often is this card going to be useful versus like the two cards we're cutting for this? Like, it's not like we have anything that already does this. It's not like we have to just like cut good cards from our deck to make this work. It's not
Yeah,
like
that's true.
replace.
I definitely think Dusknoir is like a lot better in Charizard proper than Pult, but I
Yeah,
just interested if you thought about it.
I maybe Dusclops. I'm not sure yet. It just
I think
feels
the
like a lot.
Dusclops is also good.
The Dusclops is okay. It just feels like so many deck spots, and it's going to be used like one game, and most of the time it's just going to be like really hard to like find it all, and then you need a bench space for it as well. So if it's gonna make the difference, my opponent has a turn to just like knock it out as well. Like they know it's coming, and if it's gonna make the difference between winning or losing, those decks are pretty good at just gusting stuff up.
Yeah.
Like Guardy can just Cresselia, Lost Box can just Sableye.
Yeah, like this
Like-
this Duskull bro is so cooked. Everyone's gonna kill him.
Bro, he is dead.
He is so
like-
cooked.
Bro, he's
R.I.P.
getting
Duskull.
popped. He's getting popped. As soon as he
And if
comes
he doesn't
down.
get popped, he's popping himself.
Yeah, real.
So he ends up popping no matter what.
But he was born to die. That's tough.
Born.
On gosh,
I mean,
on
everyone
goodness.
is if you think about it.
Okay, man. But like, as soon as he
This is
exists,
getting
he's
mad
just dead.
existential recently.
What'd you say?
I said Lucas is getting mad existential recently. I saw James was calling out on Twitter for being wild.
Bro, it was like 11:30 and I was listening to a lo-fi playlist. What do you want me to do?
Dude, Lucas,
Don't post on Twitter.
yeah, real Lucas. You and Omar were talking about what happens after death, right?
Yeah, real.
At 1 a.m. in our voice chat.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
He was like exhausted. It was just a normal time for me because it was 10 p.m. for me.
Oh.
He's over there
Okay, well,
talking
if
about.
you
He's like messaging me like, bro, that's like really sad if there's just nothing. And I'm like, bro, what? It was really funny.
That's really sad if there's nothing as a crazy lie.
He's hit the point of like the conversation where he hasn't thought about it enough, and then it automatically is like, man, if there's nothing after death, that's just really sad. So it's like kind of funny.
Drop a comment below on your opinions after death.
Yeah, real.
Okay, well, if that's how you feel about the Worlds format for this deck, I think that's all the questions we had. Unless Lucas is thinking I'm missing anything.
Is there anything else that you're considering for Worlds?
I just don't know, man. I think Charizard's pretty good. Charizard's pretty good.
I think Charizard Dusknoir is like kind of cracked. I'll be real. Dusknoir's really good at Zard.
Take the first part was fine. The second part,
nah.
No,
I'm telling you, bro. If you look, literally the last tournament that was in Japan, like the big one, first and second were Dusknoir Zard.
My brother, if you look at Japan, Dragapult has placements.
I swear.
Real.
I'm gonna prove you wrong with the Dusknoir. I'm gonna go KO your active, KO your Bibarel, Iono you, and you're gonna be real sad.
I'm down to test this. Send me a list.
I'm gonna say GG go next, and you're gonna double brick the next 2 games because you opened this little Duskull guy.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Man, true. That
okay, Nathan. Shoutouts? Do we have shoutouts? Anybody have shoutouts? Unless you have other things you want to say about the deck. We've been pretty thorough. I think we've kind of interrogated you here.
I've been interrogated. It's kind of real. Who are we shouting out?
Anybody that you so desire.
Shout out Kendrick Lamar.
Real.
Fire! That's a great shout out.
Real. Dub.
Yeah, shout out Kendrick Lamar.
That's your only shout out?
He also
and shout out my goat Landon.
Yo, let's go! Not Lucas though.
No! Man, screw this.
Alright.
Okay.
Well,
say your byes.
We've got a shout out of Landon and Kendrick. Respectable. Thank you so much for coming on, Nathan. Again, congrats on the win. It's pretty huge.
Nah, honestly, it wasn't even
Thanks.
that
You never dream of winning in internationals.
Poor Lucas, bro. It's been so long since you won an IC or washed.
Bro, shut up.
ADP?
Yeah, okay. I don't want to talk about it. I will do better than you at Worlds this year.
Okay.
Ooh, okay, that's shade. That's shade.
Here's the thing, though. I did better than you at Worlds last.
By 1 spot! We were the same record! That does not count!
That's literally a skill dip.
I was 19th, you were 18th, and you're like, oh, I did better than you at Worlds. Oh my god, bro. I'm never inviting this guy on again. This guy sucks. Screw this guy.
Okay, Nathan. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Unless anyone has anything else to say, I think that's the podcast for this week.
What happened?
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, you're very welcome. Lucas has had a major technical difficulty.
Do you have anyone? Where do we find you?
Oh yeah.
Where do you find me? Twitter.
Twitter or something that you want people to follow you? I followed you on Twitter today.
What is your Twitter at?
Oh, Ultra NKU.
Dub. Okay. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, my goat Landon, and my woat Lucas.
Screw this, bro.
You're welcome, my goat Nathan. Also, info for the viewers, we'll be having weekly episodes again. I just moved, and we had a bunch of tournaments, so we've kind of been lacking, but we're back.
For real. This Nathan video about to pop off. Okay.
Real.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.
See you, goats. Bye, everybody.
Bye.